Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Living the Northern Life. Today, we're going to lay out all the lines on our post and beam mailbox sign, and hopefully we'll be able to get that cut very shortly. The first thing that we want to do is to be able to find out which one is going to be our post or beam. This one I can tell is twisted, and this one here has a crown on it. If I was using that in a house, I would lay that this way. But because these are just for practice, it won't overly matter because this timber frame post and beam mailbox sign is going outside anyway. I have my drawing laid out here on our kitchen table, and I'll be referring to it as I draw my lines. In case you're interested in doing something like this, I'm going to try to remember to save the measurement of each line, but these are just my practice timbers for something much bigger. All right, guys, let's go have some fun. The first thing I want to do with this post is mark which way is up. Where is the top? I might actually just write it here. Next, I'm going to draw a line at 20 inches and then draw a square box around the whole post. Messed up on that one line. There we go. We're going to add a couple more references to this post so that if you're trying to copy my measurements, you can see what I'm doing. Put an R for right side, an L for left, and a B for bottom. On the right side, we're going to put a mark ½ an inch past this line. Now we're going to join those lines. On the left side, we're going to do the same thing as well. Remember, we made a mistake on this line, so we're going to use the top part of that line. We'll add ½ an inch. Now remember, this timber is probably not square. So which is why we're going to take a measurement from the line itself, not from the top of the timber. We're going to try and connect these ones as well. This is our ½ inch shoulder that's going to sit into our post. Now we'll connect the lines on the bottom. I'm trying to get these exact, but like I say, this is just for practice. It is off just a little bit, so I'm going to try to redraw that line. Maybe that's the issue with not having square timber. I'm going to erase this line for the most part because I don't want to cut it. I'm going to leave the left side and the right side lines so that I have a reference point because some of my measurements do come from that. On the bottom side now, I'm going to measure 1 inch in and 1.5 inches. These lines will represent the 1.5 inch piece that I want to go down here. From this line, we're going to put another line 3.5 inches away, because that will be where our post is going in. And this 1/2 inch is a shoulder that sits inside our post. And because our corners are rounded, I have to kind of guess. We're also going to measure 3/4 of an inch up. Three-quarters. I've confirmed that this is the top, so we want to definitely do that here. Match these lines up. Again, because our corners are round, I can't get the exact angle here, which is really unfortunate. Much easier to use square timber, I'm sure. I'm erasing the lines that I know that we don't want to cut, just to try to make sure that we don't remove the wrong material. From here, I'm also going to add 5 7/8. Let me put that on 6 7/8 and draw a line at the 1 inch mark. Next, I'll just draw a line. Now I just need a center line here, and 1/2 of 3.5 is 1 3/4. So I'm going to put a line at 1 3/4. Actually, I'm going to start out. Connect those lines. Now I want to do 3/8 on either side of that line. We'll join those lines again. And that's the bottom of our pocket. On the right side, we're coming up 2 inches. Draw another line 2 inches. We know that this is coming in at a 45 degrees. So I've matched my line up here. I'm going to draw a line here and then connect these lines. We'll be cutting that from inside anyway. I'm going to do that same thing on the left side. I've measured this pocket exact at 2 inches up, but it'll probably be 2 1/8, I'm guessing. This knot doesn't look like it's going to be an issue here. I'm going to cut my beam, or mark it right now, at 48 inches. I don't actually think I want it 48 inches long, but it gives me enough that I can play with it if I want to make it a little bit shorter. Next, we're going to draw a center line, which we've already marked out here, at 1 3/4 inches, measuring from the same side all the time. Now that we've got our center lines marked, I'm going to take away 3/4 of an inch. Measuring that from the center line. Now we can take our straight edge. We'll match these lines up and put a line here so we have our 1.5 inches through tenon. Hopefully by drawing a center line off of the same side that this piece will be straight no matter if the 4x4 is crooked. We have to draw that same center line here on the top again. That was on the bottom, but I confirmed that I measured off of this side, so I'm going to measure from the top of this side the 1 3/4 inches. Those are my reference lines. So I believe that we've got the main beam all marked out now. It's time for me to get ready for work, so I'm gonna do the post in a little while. Hey, good morning everyone. It is the next day. Getting a nice early start. It's almost 5 o'clock in the morning, but I keep this routine because this is what I've been used to for almost 8 years now. Just turned my workout time, or some of my workout time, into woodworking projects. So yesterday we laid out the first beam, and today we have to mark out the post. There are no markings on the post yet, so hopefully it won't take us as long as it did yesterday. Yesterday was almost an hour, so I started at about 5 o'clock again, finished about 6, and then got ready for work. But this morning we're going to work on the post, and let's get going, let's get that done. The weather should be nice outside today, and we should be able to get this all cut out today. We're going to change our marking system, the one that we did yesterday, top, bottom, left, right. Today we're going to put a north, south, west, east on it. Our first mark is going to be 19.5 inches down from the top. Next, we're going to measure 4 1/4 inches up from that line. And this is where the beam is going to go through. Now, it's bigger than 3.5 because we've got a 3/4 inch mortise going in here. We're also, at the same time, we're going to mark our halfway, which is 1 3/4 inches. And this is to get our pocket, our mortise and tenon joint set up correctly. Put this on this side so the camera can see it. So there's our center line. Actually, we need one down here too. I'm going to draw this 6 inches down, and then 5 7/8 down to the bottom of the pocket. Now we'll put some center lines on that one as well. There's our center lines. Top pocket. It's going to come 3/4 inch back from the line. 1 inch. And now join those lines. Looks pretty good. And measure up 3/4 inch from that bottom line. Okay. So I've got the face done here. Just draw freehand a little bit. But now I've got to finish off my lines so that they go all around the post. Now do the match up again. All of our face markings we've drawn out on the north side. Now we need to connect some lines from our 3/4 inch line where our shoulder is going to be, from 3/4 down to the baseline here, and that will create our slope, and that will create our mortise and tenon joint, so that when we put in a pin, it will tighten that joint up. Again, because we're not using square timber and it's got round corners on it, I have to guess where my actual line is supposed to meet up here. But this is just for practice, so that we can use much larger material. That was the east side. Now we're going to do the west side. I am trying to do the best that I can on this. I know it's just for practice and fun, but the more that I practice and get better at this, then the better it will be in reality. Next, I'm going to draw a line up from 3.5 inches from the bottom of the mortise and tenon joint, because this is where the post is going to sit. We need to put a line 1/2 inch in for our shoulder, and then connect the mark up from 3.5 inches here to the new mark that we just put in there to create our shoulder. Again, those rounded corners are giving us a problem. So from the same side that we were marking earlier, I'm going to mark up 3.5 inches, and then in 1/2 inch from the bottom line, and then connect those. The 3.5 inch line is because we're not going to cut this part out. We're only going to cut that out so that our mortise and tenon joint can slide through, and that the beam will rest right in here, and that will look as good as we can, and then there will be a wedge filling that hole. From the east side, with north facing down now, we're going to create our center line again. So I'm going to come back from the hole, go 1 3/4 inch, 1 3/4 inch, and then connect these lines again. I'm not creating another center line back down here because we're not putting our brace through it. It's only a pocket from the north side. Now for the south side that we're marking these the mortise and tenon on, I'm going to measure 3/4 inch again, then 1.5 inches, or 3/4 from the middle line, and measuring 3/4 inch back towards the west side, or the east side, and then 1/4 inch past the center line on the west side. I'm going to create my lines from center, 3/4 inch, 3/4 inch past on each side of that center line. And I drew these lines further past so that when I put my square on them to connect these lines, that they are correct. On the south side, this whole pocket is going to be taken out. We're on the north side, only that will be taken out. The last thing we need to do is to mark our pocket, which we've got the initial lines here now, and we know that it is going to come up from here, and so we'll just mark it. We're going to go 2 inches in again. We're going to make our 45. Pick a spot past, we'll measure 2 inches. And another spot past, measure 2 inches. Connect those lines. Before we connect those lines, we are going to put a square corner here. slow. Measure 3 inches back. From our 3/4 inch, we're going to measure 3/8. Now we'll connect those lines. Now I've noticed something already that I'm probably going to have to fix, because I can't chisel out a 3/4 inch size hole. I'm probably going to have to redesign that to 1.5 inches to support a 2x4. So I think I'm going to do that now. Let's erase these lines. I'm going to measure 3/4 inch on each side of that. So 1 inch again, 1.5 inches. Yeah. Now we'll connect those lines. That'll be a little easier to chisel out. So now we've got the post done. Oh, I gotta connect that line. So the post is done. Now we have to fix that same connection on the beam. In fact, we already have our 1.5 inch lines marked, so I'm just going to join them up and join those lines. There. Well, that's it for the marking of the post and beam. It's much appreciated to everybody who's been watching. All my brand new subscribers, you guys are fantastic. I think we're going to split this video up into 2. This one is probably going to be 20 minutes long or so. You know, I've tried to speed it up and cut out pieces that are not necessary, and just give you guys what I think will help you guys create this post and beam if you're interested. Hopefully you found it informative. This is the first time that I'm doing it, so I've learned quite a lot through doing this. Now I've just got to get it cut out. I'm hoping to do that this afternoon, but like I say, I'm going to split this video into 2, so that way it's not like an hour long. Alright guys, until the next one, keep living the Northern Life. Thanks for watching Living the Northern Life. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and our website. Remember to click subscribe, click that bell notification, and give us a thumbs up for the videos you like.